fixing my tripod here so it works. But we are live from the stand. Let's see here. See if I can get this to work. Sorry guys. I'm all discombobulated, very unprofessional of me. Alright, I think I got it set up. I am here. What's up, Chris? How's my audio? It's gonna be a little dark in the blind. I don't know if I'm gonna set it like this for now. No, I don't want to do that. Alright, we're live. What's up, Billy? Hey, John. Sorry I did it vertical. I set the live up and I didn't move it to, you can hear me? Okay, good. Sound good, looks good. Awesome. Alright, so the reason why I was late is I set it for 11:15, but my buddy Bob called me and I was on the phone and he don't shut up. I'm just kidding, Bob, if you hear this. But he was explaining the situation. It's crazy in Ohio. We're not getting any bucks, big buck pictures. And there's a soybean field down there when we were getting all the bucks. And then they cut the soybeans down, and Bob hasn't got a picture of a shooter buck on his camera since then. So we're learning, and Bob's learning. But he went to another private spot yesterday and had bucks and does all day. So it's only a few miles away, but that's just a big difference. Now, our hunt today, we got in the stand super early. I put the Jinxum scent out, so the whole side of this field is loaded up with scent. And we were sitting in here early. Yeah, we got to turn the clocks back tonight, I know. That just makes it getting up earlier. So what we did was we got in the stand, and first light, I figured there'd be deer out in this field. But there wasn't. So it was about a half hour, Dad. I got my dad with me too. So me and my dad are in here. So he could shoot a doe, but we're not shooting doe yet unless he wants to. But the doe are the key to the bucks. So there was no deer in the field. So I waited till about, 40 minutes after light. And I stuck the antlers out the window and I rattled and I grunted. And then I did one of those snort grunt wheezes or whatever the heck you call them. And sitting here, my dad spotted a buck across the field come out. It was a 6-point. Theo saw that buck and passed on him this year. And he come out and he went over to in front of us about 80 yards and he started eating me pears. And there were 2 fawns out in the field after that. They come out from the side. And he chased them around a little bit, but those younger ones, they're not in heat or they're not ready to be bred. You know, like the younger deer, you have to be a certain weight for them to start going into estrus. And I don't think they were of weight yet. So the buck was milling around. I got it on video, and we're cutting video as we do this today too. But I wanted to go live now because it's not really prime time. But any time is prime time with rut right now. But we don't know what we're going to see. So that 6-point come down in front of us. Hi, Mom. And it started looking to its left. And I heard a twig break. And I looked out the window, and there was an 8-point standing there, and it went down behind us and come out about 15 yards away. My dad was on it, but he passed it, and it went out, and it put on the show. It was chasing the doe a little bit, and then it went over and started making scrapes. So that was pretty cool. And then they all left, and then my dad had to go down. He wanted to grab some snacks, and he had to go to the bathroom and stuff, so he went down. I stayed up here, and those 2 doe come out and they were feeding, and then my dad come back up at like 10:30 and pushed those deer off the field, and he come in. So we're here now, but the good times are supposed to be from like 1:30 to 3. But Bob, I was on the phone with him. He's going out now because anytime you can see a deer right now. So I'm just keeping an eye out for everything. But yeah, that buck made a noise. He was 15 yards to the right of us. So I was like, buck. It was a little crazy for a second, but we saw it was a legal buck, but it wasn't a shooter. So my dad had him in the crosshairs. And my dad's using my crossbow today because his crossbow, the limbs cracked on his Excalibur. So, not knocking Excalibur or nothing, but they cracked, but you got to give them props because my dad called them and they are sending out the new limbs and the new string for him for free. Did you have to pay for shipping?
Nothing.
They didn't
Nothing.
pay for anything, so.
Great.
Hey, Brandon. I have no idea what that means, Brandon. But anyway, we're just sitting here hanging out today. It's a beautiful day out. So, I'm going to spin this around and just show you a little bit real quick. Where that 8-point was right there. The 8-point was standing right there when we opened the window up, and then he went to the right of us and went behind us, and then he come right out in front of us. So that is what happened. So I'm gonna put this sucker right here, and then I'll just be able to see it. That way I ain't gotta hold it. So, but it's nice and big in here. Here's my dad right there, sitting right there, looking out. So I think this evening's gonna be good too. But it could happen at any time. These deer are coming out right to they're coming out about 80 yards in front of us, and they come out and they were feeding. And then, I don't know where they ran to, because I was playing with my phone making a thumbnail, and I didn't even hear my dad come back up. All I heard was somebody coming up the steps of the blind. I thought it was a buck at first, because I heard a little bit of leaves. And then, I heard a knock on the door. It was my dad. So, but it's an awesome day out. I'm still chilly. I didn't dress like with all my cold, warm stuff. So, I dressed down, because I get hot real easy. So I just came in here, but it's warming up. The sun's coming out and everything. It's gonna be a good next couple hours. So. I'm good, now I'm good. Now I got my jacket right there.
Yeah.
So, but I put my jacket up on the window. So when my dad puts the crossbow up, it doesn't make any noise. But the situation we have is the wingman is out in front of us. And the big sexy's to the right, and they seem to be favoring that big sexy. So, we're gonna just hang out for a while with you guys. And if we get a deer come in, and I'll just video it and let my dad. It'd be kind of cool to get it live and get a shot live. But I'd have to pull it from the vertical feed because I just don't like the vertical feed in the blind. I wanted to do the horizontal, but I didn't hit it, and I could have went back, but I didn't. After I pressed live, I would have had to shut the live down to do it. So we're just gonna hang out. So, but if you haven't hit that like button, please hit the like button. But it's a beautiful day out. Something on bird. Yeah. Got bird scratching and walking in. Jesus. That bird almost flew in the window. God damn. We get a bird in here, that's going to be bad.
We had a hog fly in there last year.
But I didn't realize that I just noticed this. I've been coming here for 30 years. I just noticed that there, to the right, there's a little bit of a funnel coming up and down, but I ain't seen many deer going up and down that. We could shoot doe too, but we're not. I don't think we're going to shoot a doe, unless you want to.
I got 3 tags. Later.
Yeah, we're going to just sit here and see what comes out. See what pops out of the woodwork here. Anytime, what we need is we need a mature doe to come out. And those fawns were usually with a mother. When Theo and I were hunting, we seen 23 doe in this field. There was a couple different groups of doe. But those 2 fawns come out. There was a button buck. There was 3 of them. There was a button buck with them. And the button buck was pushing them around. They were jumping around. But we need the mother to come out. I think the mother got pushed off of those babies from a buck. So I'm hoping that doe wants to come feed in here in our field. And then there's a buck behind it. That's what we're hoping. So we'll see. Another thing too is I had some good news yesterday. Carly and Theo both had straight A's on their report card, so that was cool. So all we need to do to top a great weekend off is to shoot a buck. Not that it isn't a great weekend already, but it'd be nice to get a shot at a buck. He could have shot the 8-point, but it was a 2.5-year-old. It was small rack. It would have been an okay buck for Theo. But the way Theo's going, he probably would have passed that one up too now. So, we'll see. That sun is halfway on the field right now. It's like in that way. And usually that's the side of the hills that the deer will bed down on, the sunny side, just to stay warm and conserve their energy that way. But I'll just keep looking across here because that's usually where they're coming out of, just to see that rack. You should see the rack pretty easy with the sun glaring over there. So, but that 8-point walked right up that gas line that Theo's buck walked down where he shot last on our video. And then that's where the buck stopped and fell over. I was at this morning. All right, Tora, congratulations there. With Bugs Bunny or something. Congratulations to your mom. Sing like a buck signs everywhere I live. I'm in Pennsylvania too, buddy. We're hunting PA right now. We're hunting the big bucks of PA. But that's just crazy what I just talked to Bob about. How them soybeans were up and we were getting big buck pictures. Not on our lease. This is a private of a farm of a buddy of ours, Dan. And he, once they cut them soybeans down, the pictures of the big bucks went away. Now there's some smaller scrub bucks in there, but the big bucks just disappeared. So Bob went down the road about 4 miles where he has permission. He does some work with a guy. He works for him on the side, and he got written permission to hunt his property. So what he did was he just found a funnel, like a travel corridor area, and he put a stand up. Like, he used my stand. I had a stand down there. I always like to keep a stand on standby, if you, no pun intended. But I keep a stand in the garage just in case we see something we like or we can move a stand. Well, he called me the other day. He's like, hey, I'm taking that stand to use. I said, sure, that's what it's for. So he moved it and put a stand on his property. And yesterday, he's seen 7 or 8 different bucks all day. He was having action. So that just tells you, you know, you can move to find a deer. Don't stay in one spot. If you're not seeing deer, make a move, because they're somewhere. And I don't believe in that October lull stuff either. I think they're moving. They just don't have to move far in October. or they're changing their feeding patterns. Because the woods are changing, they have to change. Everything's losing their leaves, so that like the thick areas aren't as thick anymore. So I believe they transition to their different travel routes through the thicker areas. Don't you think that?
Yep. I'm just looking for a spot to change that tree stand.
Yeah. They come in, but mainly yeah, we're not even getting anything at night down there either. We were getting some giants down there. That's in Ohio. But my buck that I shot, I didn't have a picture of him since September 22nd. And then I found out that there was another group of guys hunting that buck about 2 miles away. And the day before I shot my buck, it was at their stand on their cell camera at night. It was 2 hours away, and the next day it's down by my spot.
Wow, it's not 2 hours.
2 miles, I said.
2 hours.
2 hours away, 2 miles away. But that deer was 2 miles away the night before, and then it ended up being at my stand.
It's amazing that they can go that far.
Yeah, it ain't nothing for him to move like that, so I got pretty lucky. I was going to go live earlier, but my dad come back because I was going to go live and show you guys the deer that were in the field here. But when my dad come up, he bumped them off the field, which they didn't blow or nothing because I didn't hear them. They just ran. I didn't even see them where they ran to, actually, because I was making a thumbnail for the live. So right now, you can blink or be looking the other way for 30 seconds, and you can miss a buck that walks to the right of you. Like if I didn't hear that branch snap to the right of me when that buck was out there, and I didn't see that buck looking, then I wouldn't even have known that deer was there. We would have thought he came up from the left because he come out in the field. I wouldn't even have known he was on the right of us walking around the stand. So.
There was something he circled us all the way around.
Yeah, he come right all the way around the stand. He come from my right this way, went around the back of the stand, made a rub over here, and then come out in front of us. About 20 yards, I'd say. My dad was on him. He could have shot him, but we didn't shoot him. When I first saw him, I told my dad it was a big deer. It was a big deer, but it wasn't a big rack. They don't make a sound either.
The wet leaves.
Yeah. Once it starts drying out, we'll hear them more. But they didn't grunt or nothing. Them buck didn't grunt or anything. They just come in. Now, Bob was saying yesterday, that's all he was hearing was grunting all day. Grunting, and they were doing that buck roar, and they were chasing the doe around. But this place is a decent morning stand, but I think this place is better in the evening where we're at. So I'm anxious to see what happens this evening.
Seems like I get skunked a lot more in the morning here than at night.
You what?
Get skunked. Don't see anything in the morning.
Yeah.
Same day. You'll see a lot in here at night.
Yeah, see, I think that morning thing. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing how you got a 150-pound deer that can be so quiet in the woods, but you have a 12-ounce squirrel that sounds like a truck. But we're just hanging out now, basically getting geared up. Anything can happen right now, guys. You got to be out there hunting. And please, if it's warm out, hunt. They're going to move if it's warm. especially now it's November. October's a little different. October, so much weather and the temperatures and the wind is so inconsistent in October. And I really never started noticing that stuff until like the last year or two, when I start paying attention to what's going on and getting more into the research. But October, all the winds, if you go to history, every October is unpredictable because the weather's changing so much. So you have wind shifting during the middle of the day, and you don't have a consistent wind. When you don't have, it says hopefully you can kind of see. Oh yeah, we can see. We can see for sure. Now we don't have all the windows open. We don't have the back window open behind me. I have this window right here opened because I can see our food plot out here. You can see the, here, let me show you something. Well, you ain't gonna see nothing because it's sunny right there. But out here you can see the food plot with the curtain on. You can see the food plot right there. And then we have the front window open, this window open. I don't have the back window opened. If we had the back window open, we could have shot that buck at 10 yards. And then this left window, there's really no shots over there, but we can see out of it when you want to. So, but I just lean back like this. And I'll look out right here and see, because there's a nice funnel going down the hill there. And then we have another food plot. What do you think, about 150 yards away? So there's about 150 yards of woods from our stand here, from our food plot, down to the next food plot. So this is a little travel corridor for them. So we'll see. We could see for sure. I didn't put do not disturb on this either again, so I'm probably going to get a phone call and it'll kill the live. I don't know. But we'll see.
Just about perfect day.
Yeah, it's beautiful out right now. I'm warm. It was chilly this morning though. But it was quiet walking in here, which was good. But like I said, in the mornings with this spot, I think the deer are in here at night. And I wanted to come out with my drone last night, but it was too dark to fly my drone. So we didn't see anything this morning first thing, because I think they came in last night. And any buck or anything, they get off of these fields in the morning. And then the younger bucks will mess around. But I think the evening's going to be a better situation here. That's when Theo got, we've seen a lot more deer with Theo here that last evening. That was, what, October 5th was when he shot his. So, but I'm anxious to see what we see tonight. Hopefully we get a buck right now and comes in and we shoot it. But I can't, the evening it'll get better. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I got some really cool videos that we just put out this year, so go over, hit that subscribe, and go check out all the videos leading up to this. This is going to be on our PA Deer Trail series, but I only have one video of Ohio's deer trail because it took me 4.5 hours to shoot my buck, which was really cool. Thanks, Bugs Bunny, or what is it, TJ Bugs Bunny. Thank you. Yeah, and keep coming back, checking my community tabs. We do a lot of giveaways and stuff too. But I'm glad that I get the reception up here, because down at the cabin I can't do a live because there's no obsession. There's no...
Obstructions.
What's that?
Obstructions.
Well, it's just there's no connection down there. We don't have any internet down there. So it's hard to do a live, because I'd like to do a live from in the cabin, but I can't.
Could we get the internet there?
Yeah, if you buy it.
Well, we have,
You have to have a phone line and everything.
we don't, that's no good.
No, that's why we don't have it. Plus internet's about $100 some a month.
We'll pass.
those deer come out, they love the pears. The pears don't get real big on these trees, or at least they haven't the last couple of years. But this year, I think because it's stunted because of the drought. But I like them stunted because they stay hard and they stay on the tree longer. And now, since it's getting chilly out, they'll sweeten up a little bit and they'll start falling off. And those deer use it as a good food source. If you guys, so.
There's pretty much a lot of pears this year on them.
But we have a vine with a scrape right here set up. I have the Jinxum scent and a scent wick. On the scent wick, I have the ecstasy out here. And I have a wind scent with rutting, or it's called something hot dough, hot to trot. And I have that on my little scent vaporizer out there. So we got a bunch of scent floating around here. So our wind now is, what is it, directly, it's a northwest, and now it's blowing down behind us. This morning we had a south wind, which was kind of bad in that situation, because it's blowing from our back right out into this food plot and into the woods, but we're behind our scent trail. So the scent of the estrus doe was blowing that way. So I'm hoping that sort of kills our scent a little bit, but it attracts a deer. But right now it's blowing from a northwest wind, so it's coming from our face now. So that's why over to the right of me, if something catches that wind, we have our ozonics on too, so that kills a lot of our scent. So we'll see what happens. Anything down there should smell the doe. So we'll see. And if a buck comes out, I'll video it for you guys. I'll switch the cameras up.
Something just crossed over on the cast line. From left to right. There's branches on a pear tree sticking out.
Yeah, but did it run across or did it walk?
Right across. You could see the
Was it a deer?
Yeah.
Right, them little ones.
Probably heading to your stand. Well, he was pretty high up, so I'll think it's a little one. Might have been a big doe.
You didn't see any rack then, because that's only 100 yards away. You should be able to see it.
But it was behind the branches.
Oh. All right, so we got something maybe crossed the gas line. We'll see.
That's the last one. Did they come out over here?
There's that squirrel again, right in front of us. These things are so loud. I'm just going to leave this live running, guys, and then I'll probably shut it down during prime time. Plus, I don't know how much, I got 3/4 of a battery, but I got my Yolatech juice bank and stuff with me. So if we have to run power, I got it. big sexy over there looks good.
Yes, I say it. It does. But the difference in the height. You know, the edges is all chewed down and the middle's all fine.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. We got 12 people in here right now. You guys haven't hit that like button. Make sure you hit it before you leave.
How much of that big sexy did we use on there?
One jar,
One jar.
quarter acre, whatever it is, half acre,
So it wouldn't be 2 jars to do this whole field with it.
2 or 3. I probably put
3.
I put 3, and I put 2 in front of you and 1 over there. But next year, I think it's all going to be big sexy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to go with the Jinxum seed. Thank you, Enos Vadris. It's 82 down here now, hot. Yeah. It's probably in the 60s right now.
That's about it. Yeah.
62 probably right now here. This morning it was 38. There was frost on the ground, and that's one good thing about the frost. It sweetens up all this brassicas and stuff like that, and turnips, and the deer start liking them now. That's the whole idea of the brassicas and the broadleaf plants, is to get them to sweeten up after the frost, and then it becomes a preferred food source for the deer. And they like this area. I mean, they were hitting it in October, but now it's probably prime, palatable for the deer right now. Probably tastes the best. But I got that scent trail running on this side of our field, right out in front of us, and then I have a scent wick out, so I'm just waiting to see a rack come walking down that field edge. It'd be awesome. I like doing the lives in the blind because you can hide a lot of the movement in sound. But I want to soundproof this with some acoustical tile or that 8-crate looking stuff for studios. I wouldn't mind putting it in here for that. I know the mice will probably love it, but other than that, it would be definitely a good sound dampener, because this is a wooden blind. How long was this up here for, Dad, you think? 20 years?
At least, yeah.
Yeah. So I built this blind down at the cabin, or down at the house, and then, or the walls and everything. We come up here and built the platform, and then I built all the walls down there, and we brought all the walls up here and put it together.
A lot of deer taken out of here.
Yeah, Theo. Theo shot 4 deer from his stand in 3 years. And you shot, what? How many you shot out of here?
4 or 5.
I shot a deer the other, 2022, I shot a buck in this field, but I was coming up from my stand, and I left my stand a little early because I seen a lot of deer going up to this field from my stand, and it was about a half hour before dark, and I figured it was rifle season, and I figured, what do I got to lose? I'm gonna get down and come up to this field edge, come up over the valley. And when I did that, there was 4 bucks in the field. My 8-point was in here. He was the biggest out of all of them, so I shot that one. But ever since we started doing the deer management and planning down here, we've had more deer, and we've seen more buck, and we have better quality deer down here now from that little deer management plan that we're doing. So it's working, and we're on a budget down here too. We don't have a ton of money, but next year I think I'm gonna go with Jinxum seed, and we're gonna plant that in here. We're gonna plant the brassicas and stuff, And the domain works, but as you guys know, I'm with Jinx Some Sense now, and they have everything. So we'll probably get their minerals up here, along with my other company, the Redmond, the Trophy Rock. That's always been a good mineral, and it's good for the deer. So we'll try to run that all year in the summer here, and then we'll plant it with the Jinx Some seed next year, and we'll see how that grows and how it does down here. But the broadleaf seems to work pretty good here. You can grow rye grain anywhere. You can grow it on your backyard cement pavement, because that stuff grows anywhere. But whenever we have bad plots or they didn't take, which we really have been lucky the last couple of years, especially up here, we haven't sprayed to kill any weeds in this plot up here ever so far, and it's good. I wanted to keep it that way, but I think next year we're going to try to spray it. I'll have, even if I have to buy it myself without our deer management money, and spray it.
I got it in the tote down the house. I got a quart of it.
Yeah, but that ain't enough. We have to get mocks, eye mocks. That Roundup makes that soil bad. You gotta get the eye mocks in there. So we're gonna try something next year. Does Daddy know that we made the Oakland Catholic Facebook? Yeah. He showed me the picture. Yeah, I guess Sue sent it to Daddy, Mom. She sent it to him, she didn't send it to me.
That's your mother?
Yeah. She's not, you can't see her, she's just writing shit. All right, guys, everybody in here, we need some luck.
Some positive reinforcement.
Put hashtag Big Buck in. I think on this video that I cut today, I'm going to be doing, we'll do a watch and win whenever it's published, so keep an eye out for that. I might be raffling my dad's Excalibur away. His limbs broke on it again. Carly is well liked by all her teachers.
That must be your mother again.
What's that?
That must be your mother again.
Yeah. Put hashtag Big Buck in here. And then I'll do a watch and win for this video. So you have to watch the video and see when my logo pops up. Whenever my logo pops up, you put the timestamp in, and then you'll be eligible to win. And we'll see. I don't know what we're going to give away, but we'll give away something for hunting. Or we'll give away some clothing. Maybe I'll give a shirt and a hat away to the winner. But usually what I do is to watch and win, and then you have to watch the video, see when the logo pops up during the video. Not at the beginning when it opens, because that's my intro. But you have to watch it and find the logo. And then put the timestamp in, and then I put everybody's name to put the correct timestamp on the spin wheel. And then we spin the wheel, and whoever it lands on, they get to win something. So maybe, I think, because I got some new hats and I got some new camo shirts, so maybe we'll do a camo hat and a camo shirt combo, and we'll put it up for a winner for that. So keep an eye out for the next video coming out. Then I'm also doing a video with how to make your scent last longer and go further as well. So I'm going to be doing a video on that. And then I have a company sending me a heated vest and a heated cushion seat for hunting, so I'm going to be doing videos on that. And then I still want to do the video of how to cock and decock your 10-point crossbow with the AccuSlide, because there's a new way to cock it that I learned this year from one of the one of the pro shops that I go to, Tim and Jason. Tim showed me another way to do it to make it a little better, so I'm going to put that out as well. Because I can't shoot, well, I can't say I can't shoot, I can shoot a doe. So that'll probably be coming out as well, another doe video, or another video of the PA Deer Trail series, because I'm done in Ohio. But late season, I'll be down in Ohio videoing Bob if you don't shoot something, because we'll load up the blind on our lease, and we'll put out corn, and usually late season they're back on that corn pile, so we'll be baiting them in for that, and then I'll video him. I'll go down late season and do a late season hunt. Oh, I hear something walking here. It's that dang squirrel again. Let me see. I'm gonna look down this way. That's the one thing good about the blind. You can get up and do that and not be seen. I still like hunting out of a tree stand better, but this keeps you out of the element, so.
You know what that yellow stuff is in the middle of the food plot?
Yeah, foxtail. Why?
Not the
The high,
still.
the high stuff.
Yeah, the yellow stuff. It's all by itself. It's just like the center plot of it.
Where at?
Straight behind the trees here. Straight on. See all that yellow stuff in the middle?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Weeds. We didn't. I don't think we planted. That's it. That's that little break between both food plots. It goes straight up to the gas line. We didn't plant. I didn't plant like 10 feet that way to break up both food plots. So that's all weeds in there. Yeah, we had a dry season for sure. We got pretty lucky with our food plots that grew, because I didn't think they were going to grow. And Vince planted early down below, and his stuff got burned out. So we planted rye in most of his spots.
You see how they stack them in?
Yeah. But the sorghum and stuff he got down there, and the millet or milo, I can't,
Yeah,
millet.
yeah.
The millet is growing pretty good, so.
And, chuckers are all in there.
Yeah.
I like to plant a strip of for butterflies and that on them little pollinators.
Wildflowers.
To help the
We got to get some stuff for bees.
city flowers.
Attract the bees. We were thinking about getting beehives. Put a beehive in each food plot.
It's a place in Ohio you can rent them.
Yeah, but it's expensive. I'd rather just
Is it?
buy a beehive and let them do their own thing.
I don't know if you can do that.
I can't. Put a beehive up. My luck, we'll get fucking hornets. Huh? We'll get freaking hornets.
Japanese, yeah, Japanese killer bees.
We'll get freaking hornets in a beehive.
Did you see that story on the internet? The lady had Lyme disease.
No.
She was out in the woods hiking, and she came back and sick as heck. Went to the hospital, said Lyme disease. So she figured she's gonna die.
Yeah.
So she pretty much give up on everything, you know. So she's out with her therapist, and they're walking in the woods. They get attacked by Japanese killer bees, and she got stung like 50 times. Killed the Lyme's disease.
Yeah, that's what they figured that crap out. That's good. They're good for something.
Killed the Lyme's disease. She's healthy as a rat now.
Got 8 people in here still. We're just hanging out in the blind, guys. I'm gonna move this like this. So, this is hunting, sitting and waiting.
So they call it hunting, not getting.
I'd like even for them little doe to come out so I could even show you those, but they got spooked off. They might not come back for a while.
Got a little squirrel.
Check the wind again.
There's no bears on the tree.
Yeah, they'll go all the way to end of November. Yeah, that wind's blowing this way still.
Yeah.
I can't even squeeze it. My finger's messed up.
Back at me.
See, wind checker. These things are awesome, guys. These wind checkers. Hey, Dean. It is a mini house. It's not a blind. What is this, 8 by 8?
Mm-hmm. 8 by 10.
I want to see if that deer cast is good because they're saying 1 to 3, so we'll see what happens.
What time is it?
I don't know. 12:17.
Gotta be getting close.
That doesn't mean exactly, you know. To me anyway, it never does. I've always done better in the minors than the major time frame. Every time I had a minor, a major's usually 2 hours. A minor's usually 1 hour. And that just gives you, who am I hunting with? I'm hunting with my dad. Hunting with my dad. I got the, we put this in the scrape. This is the Jinxum scent tabs. So we loaded the scrape up this morning with this. Dean said hi. He's the guy I met up at Edinburgh.
Oh, hello.
I don't like to have my dad talk because he always talks too loud. Like I said, I'm like a drill sergeant. People hate hunting with me. I'm always like, be quiet, don't move, quit doing this. Quit moving your hands in front of the window. And then squeaky seats, I can't stand squeaky seats. And every one of these seats squeak. But if you have something squeaky like it, when you have a squeaky seat or squeaky tree stand, instead of spraying it with WD, you get a thing of vegetable oil or olive oil and you put the oil on it. That way you don't smell it up. You don't alert the deer to, you don't want to be spraying PB Blast or WD on your stands. So So you use like avocado oil, olive oil, or vegetable oil, and you squirt it on your squeaky spot, and then you have something that they won't be scared of. But if you're spraying oil and WD, that'll alert the deer. So I just put in, I usually use olive oil. I'll get a little dripper, little squirt bottle, and if it's squeaky, like you know how you have shooting rails on your stand? Well, in Ohio, when you lift it, if it sits for a while, it'll get like squeaky because it's, you know, not moving too much. And then when it gets cold and hot, the weather changes, messes with that. So I always put oil, olive oil on the washers and stuff, anything that's moving, and it stops the squeak for you. Yeah, sunflower oil, vegetable oil, whatever.
Natural oils.
You can use canola oil. I want to know what canola oil is. Is there an actual canola plant? Because I ain't never seen canola. I don't know, I thought I seen that Hunting Public or something. Says that they had a thing of canola, but I don't know if there is canola oil. I don't know what canola is.
What it means is can oil.
I had a bunch of blue jays going nuts. Outfish Ontario, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Hit that like button, buddy. But there's a bunch of blue jays yapping away, and usually when you hear the blue jays yapping, that means a deer's coming. Because they don't like those animals moving, so a blue jay will scream at a deer. So if you hear blue jays off in the distance, and they'll follow the deer, and that deer's walking to you, the blue jays will get louder and louder. And if they're moving closer, usually keep your eyes out because a deer is in the area. That's just a little tip. That's your off the hook tip of the week. If you hear birds like blue jays going nuts, there's probably a deer in the area or a squirrel. You'll hear that squirrel like barking. It's either another squirrel or like a predator trying to get a squirrel. But if a deer walks by, they'll do the same thing. I didn't see no hashtag big buck in the chat yet, but if you put hashtag big buck in there, then we're going to see a big buck. There is a canola plant, okay. Where the canola plants are, California or something? Yeah, I'll have to look that up. That's one thing I never researched, and I research everything. But I never cook with canola oil. But it's getting to be, Bob told me, hey, hashtag big buck, thank you, Outfish. That's what we need, everybody in the chat to say hashtag big buck. Chris put hashtag still doing chores. Well, that sucks for you, Chris.
That Indiana, Chris?
Yeah. So, when I get home, I got a bunch of chores. All right, what was that? There's a woodpecker out there. I'd like to see a doe. Thanks, Chris. I'd like to see a doe come running through and stop in the field and then just hear a grunt behind it.
That'd be nice.
Or just watch a mature doe walk out of that corner and see a rack behind her. But I think, I don't know, my dad could shoot probably 50 yards comfortably here, out to the pear tree. Moto Brazil, hey, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. We're just showing you what we're doing. We're just hunting live. So there could be some great action and it could be boring for you as well. I appreciate you guys being in here. Or if you leave, stop back. But I'm hoping something comes out here soon. You have that preorbital gland still, that the mystic. We should have put that on the licking branch this morning just to redo it.
We were gonna do, remember, you said don't mess with it. I still cut it in my bag.
Yeah.
Take a walk out there and squirt it on. There's a branch hanging from that tree to the right of the vine. I put it on.
I see your scrape dripper to the left of the vine, and I see your vine there, but
Well, that scrape tripper's old, there's nothing in there.
yeah, but that didn't look very active this morning when we were over there.
It wasn't, that wasn't where it was at. It's right underneath the vine. I put it.
Yeah, but that wasn't, the leaves were covered up, so they
Right,
they didn't really want it. But the scrapes that are active, they grow all over PA 5 foot tall with yellow flowers on top. All right. But they hit both bucks were over at on the other side where the pairs are, and they were making the 8-point was over there. He made 4 or 5 scrapes when he was here for what, 20 minutes.
at least, yeah.
That's all he did was make scrapes along that edge over there, and he was at this pear tree. And I got some good video of him making a scrape, and he was using his foot and all that. But they're like dogs. You know how when you take your dog for a walk down the street, it'll go pee really long on like a telephone pole, and then every telephone pole after that, it'll just go squirt a little bit here or there. All he's doing is leaving scent. That's what the bucks are doing. That's what that buck did. And it was a perfect example because every tree he went to and did a scrape, he squirted a pee at. So that's all. They're just like dogs. They go and they want to mark their area. So he marked that whole backside over there with his scent. So now another buck will come in and go probably hit those same spots and do the same thing. So they're trying to leave their scent over top of each other. But there are certain scrapes that are really good scrapes, and then there's certain scrapes that are just, I call them travel scrapes, where a deer's just walking no matter what, just doing deer things, and it'll stop and make a scrape and just do that and walk away and never come to that scrape again. Thanks, Dean. But the community scrapes are the big car woodside scrapes where every deer in the area go to that scrape and use it. But right now, November, if you're hunting over a scrape, that doesn't mean, if it's an active scrape, you'll see deer, but it doesn't mean that one certain deer is coming there. So you basically want to just be in a travel corridor during the rut, because hunting scrapes in October, at the end of October, probably are good. But after that, the scrapes start getting meaningless because bucks are moving everywhere. So if you have a scrape line, yeah, your odds are better of seeing a buck, but your specific buck doesn't mean that they made that scrape and they're going to come back.
What if that 8-point was the one that made the scrapes along here?
I don't know. Maybe a rub, but I didn't see any scrapes.
Maybe rubs.
Another thing, it's another myth, is when you have a scrape and it rains, you think that deer's going to come freshen that scrape up because it rained. It doesn't happen that way. A deer doesn't say, hey, it's raining, I'm going to go freshen my scrapes. They don't know that. They don't care about doing that. If they're in the area and they come up on it, they'll go over to it. But a deer doesn't make it a thing to say, okay, it just got done raining, I'm going to go freshen my scrapes up. They don't know that. They're just doing deer things, and they go out, and if it's there, it's there. It isn't like, okay, I'm going to go hunt my scrape because it rained, and that deer's going to come here and freshen it up. You get deer coming too because it's a scrape, but they're not programmed to go freshen all the scrapes that they made up after a rain. It's just not happening. Doesn't make any sense if you think about it. I mean, to us it makes sense, but that's the false thing you got, because some person hunting said that, and now everybody thinks that that's what's happening, but it ain't. A deer comes over to a scrape because he's doing deer things. He ain't programmed to get up and freshen scrapes because it rained. You'd like to think that. And a lot of the times too, moisture intensifies the scent in a scrape. So if it rains, it's going to intensify and reactivate that urine that's in there. Because if it's all dried up in the dirt, you're not going to smell it. But if you wet it, it's like a wet dog smell. If the dog is dry, you can't smell the dog. Spray your dog and let him come in the house and see how bad he stinks. Or at least you could smell that wet dog smell. Same thing with a scrape. You can't smell it if it's dry, but when you wet it, it gets a, hey Theo, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Pappy passed up a 8-point. Theo's in here.
Hi, buddy.
He just said hi. But Pat, we seen that 6-point, Theo, that you passed up. And then we seen that 8-point, and Pappy passed up the 8-point. You could have shot the 8-point. He was decent, but he wasn't huge. Next year, we'll go after an 8-point. So everybody in here, tell Theo congratulations for getting straight A's. I'm proud of him. But if he would have got an E, I'd still be proud of him because he shot a buck this year. But my wife thinks differently than I do. All right, come on, buck. Man, does it look good in the woods? I could just see just a buck cruising through this woods and just hear that noise, and then see a buck. This one spot over here is a natural funnel. When they're not pressured, they walk it, but if they get pressure from the other property, I don't think they walk that spot. You know, that field down here, since we cut those weeds out, looks a lot better. There is, for a big field, there isn't a lot of tonnage in it, but we got to plant clover in there. That's what we're doing in May. We're going to come down in May and cut that field and plant clover, and then we're going to lime everything in May. So that way in August, all the lime's in there, and then we can plant it in August. A little breezy now.
Over here.
It's northwest.
Blowing the curtains on.
And it's coming this way. That's what I was thinking, them deer could come up through this way. But if it's the northwest, they might come out over there. Who knows?
Yeah, the leaves are blowing off the trees that way.
I don't like blowing the deer off the food plots though.
Well, they attract a lot of deer. I mean, they're working for us. Two ways, seeing more deer, and seeing bigger deer.
Yep. $12.35. If you guys haven't seen my Ohio hunt, make sure you go over and check it out. It's where I shot my biggest buck. That scent. I'm going to take this scent and open it up and put it right out here on the windowsill. Then any wind blowing, it will blow the scent down that way. We'll see. And it'll be like a cover scent too.
What time will it get dark today?
6:30.
Too bad this isn't the Sunday week to hunt.
Yeah, you want.
Because then you go back an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you.
Well, it would be dark at 5:30 then.
Yeah.
But then you got to get up at 5.
Right.
Get up way earlier. Sometimes 4. Down in Ohio, I got to get up at like 3:45 and get out there. Not as much anymore, but we used to walk down in a mile and a half. We were up there like 3 o'clock and we'd go down and it'd be an hour walk and then you just get in your stand and wait till it got light out.
What I like about the shifting hours is you can be in your tree stand at 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, and you only got 4 hours. I liked it better when you were in there at 7:30, 8 o'clock. It was still
Dark.
Still light.
As the days get shorter, that's what starts their testosterone, their estrus and all that. Outfishing, big buck, outfishing area. Hey, what's up, Outfish? Thanks for coming back in. Didn't see anything yet. Seen a bunch of deer. We seen a bunch of deer this morning, and my dad passed an 8-point up. That'll be in the video. I'm gonna have to do some editing because I think there were some swear words in there whenever it came behind us. I let the camera run. I'd like to do a bloopers reel, but I can't, if it's swearing in it. I don't want that in there. But sometimes,
Excitement in the moment.
gets a little exciting. But man, does it look good out?
It look a long time if we had about 5 doe in a field.
See what happens. See, a lot of people say it's hard for them to sit all day. I could sit all day in the tree stand. I have no problem with it. When I was younger, I couldn't stand sitting all day. But some of my best deer I've seen have been in the middle of the day. When you least expect it, that's when that big buck comes in. But you'll get people that don't want to sit, or they leave for lunch and come back and you don't know what they missed. Because the deer will pattern you. If you're hunting every day from a stand and you go out at a certain time and go down, they know that. And they'll come through when you're not there. A perfect example was Bob in Ohio a few years ago. He had a massive deer down there he was going after, and he'd go in the woods and he wouldn't see the deer. And he'd leave and it would be there. And one day he was hunting all day, except this one time he had to do something. So he left at 11 o'clock, and the big buck was there at 11:30. Then he came back in and never seen it. They're smart. Those 4.5, 5.5-year-old deer, different animal than a 2.5-year-old buck. Smarter. But then I don't get it, because then that same buck will run out in front of a car and get hit. But he can outweight you in the woods, but he'll run out and get hit by a car. So I know during the rut they're not thinking. But yeah, a deer will wind you in the woods, but it'll run out into the street and get jacked up by a car. I know one of these times I'm going to look out the window and see a deer standing there.
Hopefully.
I think that buck's either going to walk down that gas line, the big buck's going to walk down the gas line, or it's going to come out of this corner. But you never know with that northwest wind. They might come up out of that valley and come out this way. Because the deer will circle around this food plot when the wind's blowing that way, go downwind of it, and then come in to check it. Because they don't want to come into the open field upwind, because they can't smell nothing. So they'll go downwind, check it, and then come up.
That's only the second time I've had a deer come from that way.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you shot the 243 over there?
Mm-hmm.
That one and this one. Usually they'll come from down here or over here.
Yeah, last
Very seldom do
when
they come from that way.
When Theo and I were here, they come right out this way. They come right up this hill and up back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They never come across that slope.
Yeah. But the majority of the deer come out of that corner that I've seen, or they come out of the gas line. And they'll walk the least resistant path. What's up, Sea Gaming? How you doing? You're gonna try to shoot one. I'm not. My dad is. I'm out hunting with my dad. I'm all tagged out, buddy. I got one doe license left, and I'm not going to shoot a doe today. I think I'm going to take my bow out my compound, and I'm going to go by my house and shoot a doe. My dad passed up an 8-point. Hey Ray, what state are you hunting? I'm hunting PA. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you, buddy. But yeah, my dad has 3 doe licenses here. We probably could have shot a doe today. Over here, maybe. That was the button box. Yeah, we wouldn't have shot that. But we could have shot that 8-point. He was about 20 yards. Rudd is here in Ohio. Yeah. My buddy's down in Ohio right now and he's seen a buck down there on our spot. But he moved to a new spot and seen 7 different buck yesterday running around and grunting and everything. But it's weird how you get all these bucks in one area. They cut the soybeans and now he's not seeing anything on our cameras. So we went down to a different spot and he's seen all kinds of buck yesterday. Bob's going up to our lease this evening. He's going to hunt his blind because he put my spin feeder out and he's got corn out. And he's going to go and hunt up here just to look at something different tonight. And then tomorrow he's going to be back in his new spot because he's seen a bunch of deer over there. That buck that we saw today come out, messed around with some of the little doe. But those little fawns, they're not weight. They have to get a certain weight before they come into estrus. And I don't think those deer were big enough yet. I don't even know the poundage. There's a certain poundage that a deer has to reach for them to get sexually mature, is what they say. And those deer here weren't but 50 pounds. Maybe, yeah. I think they got to be up around 80 or 90 pounds, something like that. Yeah. But the buck was pushing them. He put a pretty good show on there. And then he was making a scrape, and I didn't have the record button on, and he really did some cool stuff. I got a lot of them making a scrape, but there was a really cool scene when he was over here, but I didn't have the record button pressed, so that kind of sucks. But I got enough footage of them that you'll be able to see them on the camera or on the video whenever I work on the video this week. So that'll probably be, this will be the video coming out next week or Wednesday. I still have a camera down in the valley by my tree stand. Yeah, I'm going to take that when I leave today because I don't think we need that up there anymore. You know? Take that and I can put that down in Ohio next time I go down there because I'm not down there all the time. What game? What game? We're hunting. Not playing no games. We're not playing no games. We're hunting. We're playing the waiting game. That's about it. Oh, geez, I thought this was a game you were streaming. No, I'm not playing no game. I don't play games, man. I don't play no games. I'm hunting. But we are playing a waiting game. It's sort of like game. It's sort of like checkers or chess. You're playing it with the deer, though, live. Why would I play a game when that can be out in the woods playing the real live game?
Seems like that wind's getting cooler.
Yeah. With the northwest wind will be cooler. When coming from the north, that south wind wasn't cold.
Yeah.
It takes a while, though. Always,
It's supposed to be cool again tonight.
always the north winds are colder because
Yeah,
they're coming
yeah.
from the north. But this cool down, last week was 80s. Last week was 80s, so this is like a 20, 30 degree difference.
It's going back up next week.
Yeah, but that's what you want, these cold fronts. That's why you hunt them all day,
I think they say Wednesday it's supposed to rain,
especially in the rut.
but it's gonna be 77, 79.
Yeah, but that don't matter in the rut now. That matters in October.
No, we really need the rain.
Yeah. I don't know, they say it's going to be a bad winter.
Anytime you have a drought, you have a lot of snow in the winter.
Hey, Phil, how you doing? Peterson's Farms. I'm surprised you're not hunting, Phil. My dad passed on an 8-point this morning. We're making a video as well, but I figured I wanted to go live for a couple hours today, just from our blind, because we can do it. Oh, you are hunting? Okay, good luck, buddy. How is that Jinxum sense working out for you? Is your scrapes active, buddy? I just wanted to see if you got any pictures from your scrapes. I would love for you to send me some pictures so I can promote the Jinxum scent. He bought some scent off me.
Yeah.
I appreciate you supporting me too, Phil. Appreciate that. My dad's rocking on a chair and squeaking, and it's driving me nuts. Tell me some of your hunting stories, the best ones. If you go, all right, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Aish, go over to my channel, subscribe right now. Hit the subscribe button. And go watch my last video in Ohio. That's one of my best hunting stories ever. Besides my son shooting a buck. My son shot a buck this year too, so if you go look at my most recent hunting videos, you'll see some really good hunting stories. Because that's what I try to do, give you a story. Some of my hunts aren't even, there's no action in it, but it's still a storyline. So go check it out. Make sure you hit that subscribe. I need to buy some scent from you. My golden scrape dripper failed. Yeah, you gotta, that golden scrape, buddy. Here's my opinion on scent. First of all, why tinks them when you can jinx them? But everybody goes to Walmart and buys tinks. So everybody in the woods is using Tink 69, right? Well, not everybody in the woods is cautious. So people are going in the woods. They're not hunting the wind. So they put their Tink scent out and they sit up in a tree. And a deer comes in and blows at them. Or they see them. And they relate that danger to the Tink scent. So everybody's using the Tink scent. I think it alerts the deer more than it helps. So I always try to get something that's different, that works, and always hunt the wind. But if everybody's putting Tink's drag rags through the woods, do you really think that that's going to be any kind of special thing for a deer? He's going to be normally smelling that all the time. So you want something different. If you want something different that works, go over to my description, click on the Jinxum scent link, and use my code OFFTHEHOOKOUTDOORS, and you'll save 10% on some of the best scent out there. And that's a fact. You know, people go in the woods, they dump a bottle of scent on their boots and walk in there, and then they get up in a tree, and they're not hunting the wind properly, so that deer smells that human, but he smells that Tink scent. So he relates that Tink scent to danger with a human. So I think that could hurt you more than it can help you. I would really like to have a deer come in while we're live, just to show you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of cool to get a live shot too, so I would just put that into my video. I would just use the footage from my live and put it in my video. That's why I like to do lives horizontally because it's easier to make the video with it if you needed to use it. But I messed up and did the vertical. But the vertical stream goes out to more people. But that doesn't mean you get subscribers from it, but that's basically from people just scrolling the vertical feed and the shorts feed. You'll get subs from them, but that doesn't mean they're watching your channel. They're just subbing because they liked what they've seen at the beginning, but they very rarely come back to watch your long form. So I think in the long run, if you're getting subs from shorts and from vertical feeds, if they're not watching your long form, it messes your analytics up. That's just what I feel. I'd rather have 1,000 people watching all my stuff than 10,000 not watching. When you're monetized, the watch time is what you want. And that's all related to your subscribers. If you have a ton of subscribers and you don't have a watch time, then YouTube won't push your video. But if the watch time and the subscribers sort of jive together, they'll push your videos more. So make sure you're trying to strive for the watch time. What did it say? What sense do I need to buy to start a scrape? That's easy there, Sea Gaming. You go and you get the scrape kit. It's a mock scrape kit. It has Misfortune, dominant buck urine, and it has the Mystic preorbital gland. But right now I would do that, and then I would buy either the Bewitched or the Ecstasy. And I would make your mock scrape with the dominant buck urine, and then I would dump some Ecstasy in it, or I would put Ecstasy or Bewitched on a scent wick and hang it above the scrape. And then sit back and hold on because there's a buck going to come running in. That big buck in Ohio went right to my scrape. Unfortunately, what stinks is I seen him coming and I put the record button on my camera, but I couldn't move the camera to the scrape because he was directly in front of me. So after he left, I moved my camera and he came in down the hill a little bit from me and he walked in and I was able to get him on camera that way. I just put some dominant buck scent out a little bit ago. I went out the back of the blind and peed. So that was a dominant buck. Cheers from the UK. Hey, thank you. Truce, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Do they hunt in the UK? They probably hunt like stag and stuff.
I make some of the best shotguns out there.
Yeah, so definitely go over. Use my code Sea Gaming. Use OFFTHEHOOKOUTDOORS. And use my link in my description and you'll get 10% off your order. And it helps the channel and helps me with Jinx Some Sense because I'm promoting them. I'm really hoping this year. I did get accepted on the pro staff. They invited me to be on their pro staff. So I'm on the pro staff team for Jinx Some Sense. And I may be working the outdoor show in Ohio for them this year. So if that's going on, make sure you just stop in and see me. All right, it's 1 o'clock, guys. And the best deer movement prediction from deer cast is from 1:30 to 3:30. So we got something going on here. But I'm expecting the deer movement at any time. I don't know exactly where the show's going to be at, Sea Gaming, but when I find out, I will announce it on my channel. It'll be in my community tab. If you guys don't go over to my community tab, you guys should start visiting my channel and click my community tab and see, because I don't think the community tab puts out alerts. But if you follow me on that community tab, I also do giveaways straight from there as well. I'll put like a question or I'll do a giveaway in there. All you got to do is go over and just follow the directions and you get entered, and that's straight from the community tab. So make sure you're, doing that. The Crappy Kid. Yeah, we passed up Crappy Kid in 8-point this morning. P game is I am hunting PA. I'm actually not hunting. I'm sitting in the blind with my dad. He's hunting today. I just enjoy getting out with him and videoing. So I'm videoing him. I'm cutting a video. I'm making a video for this Wednesday probably if I get it all edited. So we had a 6-point this morning come in and an 8-point, and we passed up the 8-point. We had a couple doe and a button buck. Yeah, he probably will come back tonight. But if he's old and you spooked him, if he's seen you, he might not come back. But I recommend you get in there, do a little bit of rattling and some grunting. Just to get his attention, he might come in that way. But the best time to rattle and the best time to grunt is the last week of October, Halloween week. That's your best time to get deer to respond to your calls. Grind saw stump grinding service. Hey bro, I went hunting it this morning. Did you see anything there? I hope you seen something this morning. Hey guys, if you're in here, make sure you're hitting that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe. Should I buy Monster Buck Scrape package? There's trophy and there's monster. 6 deer, that's awesome. I would get the one that has, I think the trophy scrape package has the preorbital gland. I don't think the monster buck does, but if the monster buck has the preorbital, you can get that one if it's cheaper. But make sure you're getting some kind of an estrus scent with it, like the Bewitched or the Ecstasy. Now, the Bewitched is the doe and estrus, but the Ecstasy has something a little special in it. So the Ecstasy has like the vaginal secretions in it. It's kind of weird to say that, but that's what happened. That's what's in there. So I'm telling you to get that. So that buck that comes in will smell something a little special. Beautiful buck you got, bro. My hat's off to you. Nicely done. Thank you, Crappy Kid. I appreciate that. That was the biggest buck of my life right there. So I've hit bigger ones. I actually hit, I think, a bigger one a few years earlier, and I didn't get it because I hurried the shot and didn't place it right. But as I get older, that's not going to happen no more. I got excited, but I didn't start shaking until after I shot him. But the weather is perfect today. And I'm looking forward to this evening because I think we're going to see something. Yeah, open that up. See how loud that is? What'd you do? Put nothing on it? No, I don't want it. I'm good.
You don't like duck mustard?
No, I like everything. I just don't want it right now. I'll eat later. But before this evening, I might put some more dominant buck out. I might have to go pee again. Got my blood running. I went out and strung my bear recurve and shot 100 arrows. Thank you for that. That's awesome, buddy. I'm glad. If I can encourage some people or like fire up some people to go hunting, that's basically I'm doing my job. Do you like the synthetic scents more or less? Okay, so I just started using synthetic scents this year. If you look at all the hype going on, a lot of these states are trying to get away from natural deer urine because they're talking about the CWD and all that crap. Okay, well, that doesn't spread the CWD. It's a little bug that goes up your nostril when they smell stuff, and it goes in and they get it that way. I don't believe the CWD is transferred by the pee. Okay, so the synthetic lasts longer, and you don't have to care for it as much as natural urine. So my synthetics that I got both. I got the natural and I got the synthetic. So when I'm making scrapes and I want to start it like before the season, I'll use the synthetic. It'll last longer. So I'd use that. And then during hunting season, I put in the real deer pee. Now, the difference is I like to keep all my stuff in the fridge. So the deer urine, the natural deer urine, you want to keep in the fridge all the time or keep it cooled. Okay, so it says, ever since my hunting partner passed away, my wife, in 2014, sorry to hear that. I have not hunted. It's been hard, but you gave me a little spark. That's great to know. That makes me feel great by you saying that, so that's awesome. Very cool. Appreciate that. So, getting back to the deer scent, the doe pee, the natural, you want to keep cold all the time. And then if you're done using it, if you're getting into jinx some scents, here's how you handle it. You keep the synthetic in the fridge all year. Your natural stuff, if you're not using it, you can freeze it. Thank you, Crappy Kid. I appreciate that, buddy. That means a lot. So freeze your deer pee, your natural stuff. You don't have to freeze the synthetic. And then next year, right around August, go out and make your mock scrapes and use that scent and get yourself a new batch for that year of hunting. That's what I do. But it's a synthetic, you can use it and it lasts a lot longer. So I use the synthetics to start all my scrapes. Everyone chokes sometimes. I did it last year. Everyone chokes sometimes. I did it last year. Yeah, everybody does. Yes, freeze I did and always will be good. Yes, for sure. But that's how you learn from your mistakes too. I hurried up the shot. Now here's my problem. I never hunted corn piles in Ohio before, but everybody and their mother hunts corn piles. Well, when you hunt deer off of a bait pile, it's a whole nother style of hunting. Because a deer is so cautious coming into that pile, until they commit to that corn pile, you can't move. They will spot you. They go around downwind of it, but then when they commit and they feel safe, then you can pick your shot. And once they commit to the bait pile, corn or bait, whatever you're using, you can pick your shot. Well, me seeing a big buck at the corn pile, as soon as he got to the corn pile, he was facing sort of quartering away from me, and I was above him. And instead of me just letting him get broadside and taking the high percentage shot, I tried to shoot down on him right next to his spine to come out his chest. And when I hit, I think I hit the shoulder blade and it stayed up and high in the pocket and didn't hit anything vital. And he ran forever. And we had blood. And then it started petering out. And when he started going up hills and everything, I knew that was a bad shot. So hunt natural food, that's what we did. Yes, and you hunt natural food, like the acorns and stuff like that. And I've seen a lot of bigger deer hunting public land down there than actually hunting on our lease with a corn pile. Yeah, you get a lot of bucks in your corn pile. And everybody says too, as soon as you start baiting, it turns them nocturnal because they don't have to come there during the day to eat. They know that they can come at night and you're not there, or they're safer at night. So you can turn a deer, which I don't believe a deer is fully nocturnal ever either. Like, the deer will move. They eat 5 times a day. So they got to get up and move. They might not move far and you might not see them. That's where people get the impression of being nocturnal, because they're not seeing them on their bait piles. But if there's a little bit of pressure and they feel safe, they'll move. But there's a lot of pressure and you spook them or you scent them up and booger it up, they won't turn strictly at night moving. They will move, but a majority of it's at night. The old stand overloaded 5 apple trees, best spot ever. Took nice bucks. They love apples. Yes, they do. They love pears too. You'll see it in the video. Those deer went right over to the pear trees and started eating all the pears. Right, Dad?
Yeah, I do.
Like my dad likes his bologna sandwich. They like the pears. My dad's eating right now. Yeah, so that's the spiel on the deer scent. Yeah, they love pears. And what happened to our pear trees, and it happened last year, which I don't mind, they didn't get big and ripe on there. From our drought, they stayed small. They stunted. They love grapes too. Oh yeah, I know. They eat the grapes at my dad's house all the time. So, because they're high in sugar and energy. The pear trees, the pears are about a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And they stay on a tree longer because they're harder. It takes more for them to get knocked off. But now when it got cold, they get sweeter. And they stay on the vine longer, so the food lasts into November here. And the deer love them.
Yeah, they're still on the tree.
Yeah, they're still on there now. So, but yeah, that's, what's that?
Anytime though.
Were they sweet? Yeah, they're sweet. How to track a deer. If you hit them right, you don't have to track them. But if you have to track them, you got to play it back in your head with your shot and see where you hit them. Now, the pluses of video in your own hunts are I could always rewind the video and see exactly where I hit them in slow motion. And like my son's deer, it looked like it was a liver hit. So we waited an hour or two. There's always different time frames for where you hit them. Like even if you gut shot a deer, they're gonna die. It's just a matter of when. So when you gut shot a deer, you don't even go look for them. You just leave, and then you come back like the next day, and you try to get up on some sort of a blood trail or a smell, and you can find them that way. But if you push a deer after you shot them, that's a bad thing because they're just run. So you got to do your homework, and you just got to figure out if you hit them. Like both of my deer this year, I shot and they died within 50 yards of my shot, so there was no tracking involved. But my son's deer, he hit it a little bit back, which it still was a good shot, and he ran, and then he went into the woods, and we got down, went down the house for about an hour, and then we slowly came back, and he was dead right on the field edge here. So we grew 20 persimmon trees on the farm, and the deer would suck them off the trees before anything else. They love those. Great for sweetening up your stand. Yeah, but I don't know how the persimmons will grow here. I'm bad at aiming, so that's a bummer. Well, then you practice. Practice makes you better, so practice. I don't recommend you going out in the field. Here's one of my pet peeves. People, when the crossbows start coming in, and I used to work at Gander Mountain, people would come in 2 days before hunting season and buy a crossbow, shoot it at the target 5 times, buy broadheads and go hunting. You got to shoot your equipment. You got to know it's like throwing a baseball. You know, if you practice, and you know, when you first learn how to throw a baseball, you're not real accurate. But now as you do it, you could throw the baseball and just about throw it to any person that's standing there at different distances. That should be the same thing with your bow. You got to know your distances and know what you can do with your bow. All right, Sea Gaming, goodbye. Thanks for coming in. We grew them northern Michigan. So yeah, I don't think PA, they're too good.
You can grow them here.
You can?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You have to watch which ones you buy. Because some of them aren't cold tolerant and some of them are.
yeah, but I'd like to grow them, but I don't know.
They grow like 5 or 6 of them together too.
Yeah, but it seems like our apples and our pears are doing good down here, so we're good with that. But maybe that'll be a project of mine. Maybe I'll buy a persimmon tree or 2.
Or 4.
Yeah, and then put them up. We'll do a video on that maybe. If you guys haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. PA Outdoors couple, how are you? Thank you for coming in. We're hunting PA right now. My dad passed up an 8-point this morning, and we had a 6-point here too, and a couple doe. Man, does that ridge look good right there? But when you walk down to the house, I seen you walking down there. So you can see to that, I mean, you could see to that path.
Yeah.
Because you were walking right there. I seen you walking down.
See, that's why I used to come in that over there.
Yeah, we need to come in from down here though, on this
Because
field.
when you come through here, the bedding area's down in here.
Yeah, you don't want to.
And you don't want to.
Yeah, but they're not bedding in the morning there yet. They're bedding there in the evening. But that ain't really much of a bedding area. It ain't too much. There ain't much there. If you come straight up this hill, you get right in here with that.
Yeah.
Messing with this, that's where you're hunting. You're not hunting back there. You're just hoping something could come in from behind you, but you're not hunting that. Jack's Chambers. I got done hunting and saw 3 does and 1 buck. Awesome. Did you get in? You didn't get no shot, Jack's? Ooh, there's a gunshot right there. That's how they do it down there. If they can't get them with a bow, they shoot them during archery season.
Shotgun.
I don't know where that 8-point came from. He had to come down this way and cut in.
Yeah.
Had to. He didn't come this way. Unless he come down this, I don't know. I don't see no path there. I think he come down the field edge and cut in right there. That's what
If you heard all them, you heard him trampling coming through.
I didn't hear him trampling. I heard one branch break. That's why I think he was following that scent trail, and then he cut off in here. That's what I think. The buck was illegal, and I can't shoot those because I need them for the rut. That is a good idea, Jax. Keep the does around. You can always shoot a doe after, like late November or rifle season. Shoot a doe.
Second archery.
Yeah, second archery. But the deer cast is saying 130. It's 119 right now, so we'll see what happens. And then we'll have about 5 hours of light left. So we still got a long time to be here. Hunting and stuff, what's up? You finally came in. I've been waiting for you to come in, buddy. You're using Viper lure price. You're using a 10-point? I am too. Well, I do. My dad's Excalibur broke. The limbs broke, but they're sending them. They already sent them out free of charge. I have a 10-point Havoc, the 440 RS. So that's what we use, a 10-point. I used to use a center point. All right, Jax, have a good day. Good luck this evening, buddy. I have a center point, which is really nice. What do we want to say? An economical bow.
Moderately priced.
It's. I spent $3.99 for that bow. You too, thank you. Yeah, I spent $3.99, and I shot a bunch of deer with it, and it shoots good. And Theo shot his first buck with that one. Now he wants my bow, but my bow's a little more expensive. But eventually, that's the good thing about having a son that hunts. I could tell my wife I'm going to give him mine, and I'll get the newest one. So I'll give him my 10-point Havoc, and then I'll go buy the one that shoots 700 feet per second. So, but yeah, Theo, he can shoot. Have broken crossbow, that sucked. Yeah, he had his. That's why I'm hunting with my dad just to sit here. I'm not hunting. My dad's using my crossbow. So, but yeah, he could have shot an 8-point this morning, but he passed it up. But what's good about Excalibur, they're great bows. Don't get me wrong. They're light and they're fast. But their customer service is awesome because they're lifetime warranty. So he just called them up, and they're sending them the limbs and the string. So he'll probably have it this week, and he'll put the new limbs on it. Did you hear something?
Did.
What? What?
Thought I seen something over there by the path going down to the camp.
That's a pretty far sea, Dad. It's 100 yards. And you didn't hear him walking that far.
No. Something. Like somebody was walking.
So Excalibur's a good company for sure. Another tip, if you pee in your bottle, make sure you know which one you're drinking. Especially if you have two of the same bottles. My buddy Bob said 600 pictures on the lease camera.
Jeez, oh man.
I think he said all the usual bucks though, so we'll see. Viper Lord, yeah. I didn't pee in my bottle yet, but you'll be able to tell because you'll have a warm bottle and a cold bottle. And the warm bottle, I'm going to guarantee, is probably your pee bottle.
Yeah, one tastes like this, one doesn't.
So, just make sure you're drinking your right one. Yeah, I'll show you it right here, guys. I'll show you. There's a little bit of sun involved here. Let me switch the camera around. I'm going to show you our food plot. That's our view from the front. And then if you look out the side, oh, there's a deer. No, I'm just kidding. So there's our side. That buck was standing right there today. The 8-point. So that's our setup right now, guys. So that's it. Just be cautious. Yeah. Yeah. You'll know as soon as you drink it. I'd really like to see, what I'd like to see is a big mature doe come out of this corner to the left of us and work her way towards us and across, and a buck be behind her, just tending her, like behind her about 40, 50 yards. Deer this day is very adaptive. They've always adapted. The deer hasn't changed, it's the hunters that have changed. Just like all these 200-inch deer that we'd never seen before. Now all these hunters are shooting 200-inch deer, and it's not even a big thing anymore. But they don't tell you that all the 200-inch deer are coming from high fenced areas either. Try to find a 200-inch deer on public land. They're there, don't get me wrong, but try hunting a 200-inch deer on public land. He's a very smart animal. And it would be very hard if you're lucky enough to do that, then you're doing something that not a lot of people can do. You hear all these people, oh, I shot a 200-inch deer. I consistently shoot a 200-inch deer. Yeah. If you have a high fenced area or you have your own farm and the deer can't get out, there's a lot of those farms out there. You can go and spend $25,000 and shoot a 150 class deer, or you could shoot a 200-inch deer for 50 or 60,000. To me, that's crazy. I want to do it myself. Yes, you're right. The big deer are so adaptive. Yes, it's a whole different animal. A mature buck is a different animal than a 1 or 2 year old. And let me correct myself. It's 1.5 or 2.5 year old. So, yes, it's a different animal for sure. And what's funny is when you see a mature buck, they just act different. They almost know you're there. And you didn't even do nothing. They could like sense that. I don't know, people say that they can sense that electromagnetic pulses that you go off. That's why they come out with that hex gear to sort of block that, but I don't know. I know when I see a big deer, they could probably hear my heart beating. But who knows? Electromagnetic pulses. Maybe they do. I would think that there would have been a study on that already, though, and they would know. But nobody seems to know, so. What do you think, Dad? You think it could feel the electromagnetic pulses?
Everybody gives it off, so it's
I
very
mean,
possible.
you figure fish in the water do. That's why they have a lateral line, because they could feel the vibrations.
Yeah.
So maybe deer can feel the vibration. Hope you can catch a 220-inch buck someday. Haha. I hope I don't catch them. I hope I harvest them.
Look at a groundhog when you walk on a ground. He don't see you, he feels you.
Yeah, that's what I think deer. I think the deer do too.
Every human thing is off. Every living thing is off electromagnetic field.
Yep. Even your voice. Like the vibrations of talk, like anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody always says that they can catch a deer, but we're not catching them. I wish I could catch one for a pet, but we usually, I don't want to say, we usually just harvest them, is the nice word to say.
The only way you catch them is with your car.
Yeah.
The truck.
I'm looking forward to this evening for sure.
I don't know, man. I think it'll be starting by now.
I think our chances are better no matter what towards the evening anyway. So, even though they say midday activity, hopefully we get midday activity, but I think the odds are better when you're of seeing them is going to be more towards the evening.
Midday activity somewhere, huh?
Yep. Yeah, and that's all. That's all that stuff has to do with terrain, weather, where you're hunting. Like you, somebody will say, "Oh, I've seen 10 bucks today. They're running around everywhere." Well, a mile down the road, you're not seeing a deer. So it's just a matter of where you're at. That's why you got to put the odds in your favor when you're picking your tree stands, and that all has to do with terrain. So. We're going to let this go. Alexander, question, sir. At what age can I obtain a hunting license? Where are you out of, Alan? If you're in PA, you can get, somebody can give you, you can get a mentor license at like age 8 or even probably younger. But an adult license is 16, right, Dad? 16 years old? But you can, but if you have to have a mentor. I have a mentor. I've been mentoring my son for 3 years. He's 11 right now. I didn't want him to go in the woods, and I just didn't feel that he was ready to shoot a weapon until he was like 9. It depends on your guy. It depends how you raise your kids. If he's in the woods with you all the time when he's little, he might be able to shoot a bow, a regular bow at age 9 or even younger. Depends on the person and the kid. And if they want to do it, don't ever force them to do it either. My kid still won't come out and plant a food plot with me because it's too hot, but he'll come and shoot the deer out of it. So, but yeah, I believe it's like, if I can get a license at 16 years old, yeah, you can get a license at 16. Where are you from? Are you from PA, Alan? If I can get a license at 16, yeah, you can get a license at 16.
You have to go to safety training.
Yeah, you have to get your PA safety class training and all that. I have a card. I don't know where you're out of, but you can get, I'm on mentor license. Yeah, Viper Lord Paces is on a mentor license. But, damn, don't scream like that. Cover your mouth. Just alerted every deer in the woods. But yeah, you can get a license.
Did he say he's in PA?
Gotta go now. Hope your channel will be famous. Thanks. I hope it does too. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we're going to end this live anyway because I think we're going to have some stuff happening here soon. I may get back on later or something, but we're going to end it now. I think I'm going to go put out some more dominant buck urine. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit that like button, share us out. We'll see you later.